Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Curious J Talk. So let's talk Stadia. Now, I had a video earlier, not too long ago actually, about a day or so ago, about being announced, and not knowing too much about it. And I found a couple more articles here that I'm really curious about, and maybe you can, you haven't seen, and questioning, Stadia. Like, here's the title for this one: Why Google's Stadia game streaming platform could fail. And that's by Timothy Green, the Motley Fool. Nice play in words. This is March 20th. And this is on Yahoo Finance. And I found it really interesting. So let's get into this article real quick, and we'll talk about more about Stadia. All right. If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So goes the proverb, attributed to Abraham Maslow. That explains why every major tech company seems to want to stream video games over the internet. If all you have are massive data centers, everything looks like it should be streamed from those data centers. Stadia, a new video game streaming platform from Alphabet's Google, is pitched as a way to bring high-quality games to broader audience by lowering the cost of entry. Instead of requiring consumers to buy hardware like game consoles or high-end PC components, Stadia will run games in Google data centers and stream each frame to any device running the company's Chrome web browser. This isn't the first game streaming service. The two most notable cracks at running games in the cloud are Sony's PlayStation Now and Nvidia's GeForce Now. Stadia and whatever Microsoft, Amazon, and perhaps Apple eventually launch will join those services as companies race to build the Netflix for games. I don't doubt the video game industry is heading towards a subscription model, but I do doubt that streaming games from the cloud will be a significant part of that future. A solution looking for a problem. If you want to play a AAA video game, you need some hardware. Your choice today are game consoles or a PC with a graphics card. Those can cost a lot of money, and you then need to buy the game itself. Gaming PCs aren't cheap, especially if you opt for high-end parts. Nvidia's high-end RTX 280 graphics card has an MSRP of $699. Jesus. And that's not even the most expensive option. Mid-range graphic cards can be had for around $200, but you still need other components like a CPU and memory. Even a budget gaming PC will cost at least $500, and that's a low-end PC game to run games decently, I would imagine. You're going to need to spend a lot more. All right, given the cost of entry for PC gaming, a cloud-based game streaming service would seem to make sense, but game consoles already offer a more budget-friendly option. The base versions of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, now in the back half of their life cycles, currently go for $300. Microsoft even offers a subscription service, Xbox Game Pass, which offers downloadable games for $9.99 per month. Google hasn't announced pricing for Stadia, but I doubt it will be all that inexpensive. The hardware to run games in the cloud probably isn't cheap, and game publishers need to be compensated. PlayStation Now is $20 per month, but that service is powered by the guts of game consoles stuffed into data centers. It also offers downloadable games since streaming only works well on strong internet connections. The big question: will Stadia end up costing less than the total cost of ownership of a game console? Another big question: how well will Stadia even work? Streaming video over the internet is much simpler than streaming games. Video can be loaded ahead of time, ensuring smooth playback even on an unstable internet connection. But for game streaming, each frame needs to be transmitted to the player in real time. Trying to use Stadia will likely be an exercise in frustration on weaker internet connections. Google has no doubt put a lot of time and effort into reducing latency and ensuring that Stadia works well enough for as many people as possible. But do people who don't want to spend a few $100s on a game console even want to play these games? And will they be willing to pay what will probably be fairly steep subscription fee in order to do so? And do those people have rock solid internet connections? That's a good question. Hardware plus a game subscription service like Xbox Game Pass seems more likely to be the future of gaming than cloud streaming services. And for more casual gamers, mobile devices are plenty powerful enough to play popular games like Fortnite. That's not to say that streaming doesn't have a place, but it's hard to see services like Stadia upending the gaming industry. And that, again, was on Yahoo Finance, and it was done by Timothy Green. So I'll have a link below on it. And he does bring up a lot of good points. Well, we're going to go to another article here, and then we'll discuss it real quick. And this is from Windows Central, and by Asher Madden. Also, in March 20th. So, two of them March 20th. So, let's go down here to where it's the problem here. connection. It says, unfortunately, as the connection deteriorates, the input lag gets worse. If you are on a standard internet connection in the United States, averages is around 18 Mbps. The input lag increases to 188 ms. It's unclear how high this goes if you're on a slower connection. Hopefully the input lag is consistent because erratic input lag is the major concern here. That's what actually makes a game completely unplayable. Yes, we all know about lag. Lag is horrible. While input lag can be overcome, the other problem Digital Foundry encountered was artifacts. A video artifact is a noticeable distortion in the quality of a video brought about by data compression. Stadia is sending a video stream to your display, which isn't the same as rendering individual pixels directly from dedicated hardware. Playing on smaller displays, like a laptop, is ideal because it reduces the literal size of the artifacts. However, if you're on a massive 4K display, the artifacts are quite apparent and can be quite jarring to witness. That's not good because I have 4K. Google says that Stadia supports 4K 60 FPS gameplay, a stat repeated by id Software when it announced Doom Eternal was coming to the platform. Google told Eurogamer that it expects 1080p streaming to be more likely for connections around 25 Mbps. If you're on a 15 Mbps connection, the resolution and frame rate will drop down to 720p 60 FPS. However, Google's Phil Harrison had a different take on Eurogamer's report. During the event, he said, to get 1080p 60 FPS required approximately 25 Mbps. In fact, we use less than that, but that's where we put our recommended limit at. But with innovations that we've made on the streamer side and on the compression side, since then, when we launch, we will be able to get 4K, but only raise the bandwidth to about 30 Mbps. It's unclear how prevalent artifacts will be at 4K 60 FPS at the moment. Hopefully the compression won't take away too much from the image quality. This is a bold claim from Google, and it'll have to prove it when Stadia fully launches because right now the results aren't even close. The Telegraph states that the service will use 20 gigabytes per hour. Those who played Doom Eternal discovered they were missing shots they couldn't melee easily. Aside from input lag, the image quality, Google completely forgot to mention Stadia's connection limitations. How will internet service providers, ISPs, react to users using up so much bandwidth? These are important topics that need to be clarified by the company. In many regions around the world, including the United States, many ISPs have caps on the amount of data you can use every month. It seems like the highest quality visuals will be out of reach for the majority of gamers on this planet. Additionally, mobile phone users face the same issues and have even smaller data limits. Google needs to be clear about the bandwidth requirements because that seems to be the biggest barrier entry. Lastly, Google failed to discuss how much games will cost or how monetization will work on Stadia. Will it be free and supported through advertisements? Will there be an Xbox Game Pass-like subscription model, or will games have to pay $60 for AAA titles? If Stadia is indeed a free service, which features subscriptions and game purchases, access various titles, where Google recuperating their revenue. There is a lot of distrust right now on how companies like Facebook and Google handle their private user information, so there would have to be insurances of purchases and playing habits and so forth. So that's pretty much the main thing I want to talk about on that article. The rest is but this is from Asher at Madden, March 20th. It's also on Windows Central. I will have the link below. And so the questions I have, there's really not a question of, I hope it succeeds. All right, first of all, let's start with this way. I hope it succeeds. Why? Because competition is good. Even if you don't play it, even if you're not interested in it, you want it to succeed. Why? Because it pushes Xbox and PlayStation 4 to be better. You need someone to push each other. I mean, that's what Xbox and PS4 is doing now. But if Stadia comes out and does it better, well, now those two have to have to push to be better. That's great. That's great for us. We're the ones who win. So rooting for Stadia to do well is what you want, because that's going to push PS4, Sony. That's going to push Microsoft, Xbox to be better, to have better options. It's a win-win for us. So you want them to do well. It makes them to be. It makes PS4 and Xbox something I always say: be proactive, not reactive. Always have said that. That is something you need to do. A good example: Blockbuster. They were the cock of the walk. They were top bill. No one could touch them, and they just thought they could do no wrong. Well, instead of being proactive and trying to see the future and trying to move ahead, they just stood. That's it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just sell videos. We're gonna stand tall, and this is what we're gonna do. And it failed. It failed. I mean, I think it was Netflix actually trying to make a deal with them, and they said no. They were too big for the britches. And what happened? They're gone. They didn't adapt. They could have adapted. They could have been Netflix. They really could have. They could have been a streaming service. They could have been, still around. But nope. They did not adapt. They could have been proactive and just did that. And nope. They and then at the end they tried to be reactive. Nope, didn't work. Now there are examples of being reactive, but you can't be reactive too late. For instance, the NFL. We all know the NFL, how all this they keep coming out with really neat stuff. Well, one of the things they didn't come up with is the Skycam. Some years back, there was a league called the XFL, done by WWE. Vince McMahon thought he could make a football league. No, it didn't work. It was too gimmicky. But the one thing they did right and was very cool and got the NFL's attention was the Skycam. So when they folded, immediately, NFL went, we're taking that, Skycam. And they're using it. And they were the first one to use it. There's no other really pro sport doing it. Well, they're doing it. And it paid off immensely. I'm telling you, it was a great thing. So that was a reactive thing, but in a way they were proactive because no one else does it. They do. XFL did it first, but they made it better. So there's examples right there. So we want competition. We want Stadia to be good. We want them to come out and just knock it out of the park, right? That's what we want to do. We want to see them do well. And that hopefully have better colors than the remotes. The remotes are pretty fancy looking. But yeah, so we got that. That's the thing. Now, is there a sub fee? How much? It's right over here. That's I think they were talking about down here. Right here. There, subscription service. Is there going to be a subscription service? How are they going to do this? I mean, I saw a video saying that it's going to be free. You just have to pay for the games. No way. No way. I can't see that. I think there's going to be a subscription service for it, and then hopefully the games will be cheaper than if you would buy normally, because you don't have a box. You don't have the disc. You don't have the instructions inside it. So you cut all that out. So it should be cheaper. So I believe that's what they're going to do. If they do go free, where you can just use it however you want and just buy the games, well then that I would imagine it's going to be advertisers. And I don't know how that'll work. I have no idea how it'll work. But if they do have subscription fee, how much is it going to be? I wouldn't imagine it could be too much considering you're going to be buying games. So that's another thing they have to come out with. And hopefully soon, because it's supposed to be releasing this year. So there's that. Then, of course, you have the latency we were just talking about. What happens if you're in an area that doesn't have, a good internet connection? I have a good one. I am in the suburbs. Somehow, for some reason, I have a great internet connection, which is great for me. But my brother, who lives about an hour and 15 minutes away from me, doesn't. He has a terrible one. They're still trying to get really good internet connection. They have everything set up. They just need the people to come out and do it. But so basically, he can't use Stadia, because it just wouldn't be worth it. So that's another thing they're going to have to, And again, the companies, they were saying, how are they going to react? Are they going to charge more? That's another thing. So if that's what's going to happen, if people have to pay more, they're not going to want Stadia. They're going to go, nope, I'll just stick with PlayStation and I'll stick with the Xbox. That's another thing. So there's a lot of things they have to come out with. Here's another one that was brought up. Games. So you're going to obviously you're going to have to buy the games, right? What happens if Stadia doesn't work? What happens to the games? You lose them? You pay, say it's normal price. We're going to say $59, okay? We're going to say $59 for a game. And you buy 3 of them. So you're going to tell me you're going to lose about $180 right there, out the window. Sorry, we went out of service. No games for you. Really? So they better figure something out. Because if you're going to, you're going to, look, they're going to apparently, they're going to have exclusives. That. They said they're going to have Doom Eternal. They're going to have other games, but they're going to have exclusives, ones that they've made. But all those games that you get, there has to be a guarantee. You can't just spend that money and then it's gone. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be something they have to address all this stuff. So all that stuff there, that is stuff that they're going to have to talk about. These articles are great for, asking questions, trying to find out. Again, I'm going to have them on the bottom they're great articles. Read them. Check them out. They're excellent. I'm curious. I really need more information before I make a decision on this. Is there going to be subscription? I'd like to know, because remember, guys, Xbox and PlayStation are going to bring a new console out soon. Much sooner than you think. It won't be this year, but don't be surprised if it's next year. I would not be surprised one bit if next year they don't have it coming in the fall. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And so they're going to have to come out guns blazing. They better be ready. They better have all these answers. They better have answered. Because they're really, because when they come out, I expect them, if they're still around, if they're around and those consoles come out, they better be doing something amazing, because they're going to lose people. So it's going to be fun to see how this all plays out, and I'm really looking forward to the information they release soon, and hopefully at E3. That's what I'm thinking they're going to do, and if they do, that'd be fantastic. So, all right, guys, what do you think? Are you excited now, or are you not excited? Are you like me on the fence? Because now I'm on the fence. I'm kind of like, let's get more information first, right? So leave a like if you like what you saw. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about Stadia, because I'm keeping my eye on it, and hopefully, I hope it succeeds. Even if I don't use it, I hope it succeeds, because the more competition, the better. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening. I do appreciate it, and I hope to have you guys come back here again on another episode of Curious J Talks. Bye-bye.